Hello everyone, welcome to my Ketsui Survival Guide, where I will be giving an analysis and breakdown of my own routes for a no-miss, no-bomb using good old Panzer. A word of warning, this is not a scoring guide, so if you're looking for score, you're going to have to find other videos and routes for that. And also, this is by no means the definitive best routing out there. I'm sure there are much stronger, even survival routes, but this is what I've been working with and this is what I have to give to you. So definitely check out stuff like Moglar and Ariska when it comes to getting those high level routes. This is more of an exercise in talking about the game and analyzing the game and getting your feet into the game, because if you haven't played too much Ketsui, I do think this video and guide is going to be a lot of use. One last disclaimer is that I ended up splicing the stages together. I actually had a run where I basically did all of them except stage 5, and stage 5 I had to redo a few times, but I added in the splices just in case I needed them, which I didn't until the last stage. So this is not a complete, legitimate, beginning to end, full run, but I didn't want to spend the next 3 weeks going for that in order to make that video. This is more of an educational tool. Just keep that in mind. So here we go. We're going to be launching into stage 1, and I do believe you should be able to see my tiny little mouse cursor, which is going to be useful for when I pause and discuss the routes and everything like that. So I chose Panzer, I chose the default color, even though I like to play what I call faux tiger, which in the PS4 port, which this is played on, you can actually change the ship colors, and there's a way to change your ship color and shot color to match tiger. And so you'll notice when you watch me stream, you'll wonder, wait a minute, am I playing tiger? No, I'm just playing fake tiger with the Panzer ship. But anyway, we're going to open up with stage 1 here. Not too much going on survival wise. I tried to do this sort of like light scoring as I play, but that isn't really all that necessary. For survival, really, if you just do a little bit of light scoring in the first 2 stages, that will be enough to get you the last extend. And you don't have to do any scoring really, and you can usually squeak out that last extend in the last stage. But just for a little bit of breathing room, I tried to do a bit of light scoring here. So survival wise, the best way to take this guy out is to lock onto the center, then you kind of pull to the left, and then pull to the right, take him out in the middle. These planes, do not be afraid to get up close and personal with your targeting. And I think this is a great introductory stage. I think Ketsui is one of the best stage 1s in all of shmup history. And the reason for that is, even though it isn't all that difficult survival wise, it still is challenging enough to keep you on your toes, especially when you start to introduce scoring. And I also think it subtly introduces a lot of great systems and concepts to you, like the targeting system. One thing to keep in mind if you're playing Panzer versus Tiger is that Panzer has a slower lock-on speed than Tiger, and so it's not always the best to use the lock-on to clear out big waves of enemies, like you'll see here, what I call like big piles of enemies. A lot of the time with Panzer specifically, you actually want to use your shot to clear them out and use your lock-on more on heavy enemies. So here we go, first boss, not too much to worry about. You can actually target these side wings, and there's some scoring strategies with targeting the side wings. But if you're playing purely for survival, don't bother with that. Just target him full on, locked in the center, and just take him out as quickly as possible. He has some different variations in the second phase here. Let's see what variation I get. So I get the sort of needle one. Okay, what you want to do here is you just want to slowly go from side to side. Then when he does the needles, you just want to get completely out of the way, and then you just can hang out in the middle there, lock shot him, and there you go. Now jumping into stage 2, again doing a bit of light scoring, and the way it kind of works for light scoring is you kill enemies really close with your shot in order to get the 5 chips, and then you have a little bit of a timer there. You see the timer next to that spinning 5. You get a bit of a timer there to lock shot into things and kill them, and they will release the 5 chip if you get a close kill. And so now we're going to actually come into the very first bit of routing here when it comes to survival. So stage 1, I'm not going to really give you a whole lot of details on how to route that, not that important. Stage 2, there's a few key points in routing, and this is the very first one. So what you want to do is you want to, for survival purposes, you want to take these tanks out, or whatever they are, gunner things out, as soon as possible. And the way you do that is actually plant yourself right in the center of them, because it shoots these line walls, and there's a nice juicy gap right in the center that you can sit in. And what we want to do is take him out fast, come up. We're going to take this one up at the top corner out very quickly. And there's going to be some choppers that spawn from the left here, and they're going to try and pin you in. And this is the very first survival test of the game, in my opinion. And so we want to route this correctly. There's the chopper. Oh, comes from the right. My mistake. But here we go. So now you want to take this guy out, lock onto the center, and you're going to squeak between his shot and the pin from this chopper and the choppers that spawn on the left. Here we go. There's another one spawn on the left. And now here, you're going to want to take your time, try and take out the choppers. And then with Tiger, all you have to do is just kind of hang tight. But with Panzer, what you need to do is you need to do a bit of a cutback where you come up, switch to shot, and cut back. So here we go. And then here's the cutback. Pull him back, switch to shot. There we go. Okay, so here is my strategy. Here's the next survival bit that people have trouble with. This mid-boss of the tank. Here's my strategy. We begin on the right side here. We just hang out on the right side. It's going to spawn these needles. We're going to come down, dodge the first wave of needles, and then we're going to go to the left corner here. Dodge forward, and then here we go to the left corner. Now we're going to hang out in this area, and it should cancel without any trouble. There we go. Now we get into the second phase. My number one tip for this second phase is do not look at the tank. Don't look at, oh, am I hitting the tank or not? You are locked on. You are absolutely hitting him. Instead, what you should be looking at are the waves of bullets that he's going to spawn. My strategy for dealing with this, and I noticed that when I was watching some Emote replays, other players were doing this as well, is to get into this left corner here and just watch the waves as they come in. Don't watch the tank, watch the waves. So we're going to get into the left corner. Now we're microing. There we go. Got the clear. Now here's an interesting section with Panzer, because you can get what I call getting panzered. Tiger doesn't have this issue as much, but Panzer, you can have enemies just fly through your shot and ram you. And so you want to be kind of moving side to side, because there's going to be choppers that spawn from the left and right corners. And if you get the kills late enough, you can get the chips here. And I kind of get him. That's okay. So you're going to speed kill this guy. And the way his patterns work is he has these, you can see this here, he has these initial walls that you need to pull back from. And then he has these side waves that come in that try to pin you. So you pull back, then you kind of loop around. Watch, pull back, loop around the side waves, and there you go. This here is a interesting bit of routing. What you want to do is you want to get that lock on, then you want to pull back and you want to hang around the center back here. Preferably you try to still stay somewhat close to him so you can take him out with your lock shot faster, because if you're not careful, if you're way over in this left corner, he'll stay alive for way too long and shoot out some more waves, and then you're pinned and dead. So you don't want to do that. Again, when you're handling these big waves of tanks and popcorn and bullshit just covering the screen, switch to shot, because that clears them out faster than lock-on does. So there you go. Now we're going to lock onto these, lock onto the tank. Just the thing about the tanks is that they're very resistant to shot, so you need to point blank and just lock onto them and kill them as quickly as possible. What's really fun about playing Panzer, unlike playing other narrow type ships in other games like AL and Donanpachi, is that it has this lock-on mechanic, so you can really have fun with your movement plus lock-on. And one of my favorite enemies to fight in this game are these choppers. What you want to do is you want to lock on, then just bend real far to the right. And you can just totally avoid their shot and murder them. Very fun enemy type and a very fun mechanic. You don't really get that in any other shmup. That fun little bend. Again, he's going to come in. This is one of another sort of kill point in the stage. He's going to come in. You want to lock onto him, let that initial wave go by, and then you want to try and come up, kill him, and then lock onto this bunker thing up here on the right. Let's see if I do that. Okay, correct. This is another tricky survival point here. You want to take out this bunker quick and then lock onto that ship. And if you get too hasty and fall over these corners, you're done for. You have to sort of stand your ground here. There we go, Texas style, stand your ground, and then come around to the side. Full lock on there. There you go. Okay, tank time. This is going to be the first tricky boss of the game. Phase 1 survival-wise is actually very simple. Just lock onto the center, and then your ship will sort of collateral damage. Sorry, will collateral damage these side, whatever they are, treads or whatever. You want to sort of stick to the center, not only to hit them both, but also because these walls come in and they swing from side to side. So as long as you're kind of sticking in the center, microing around those little red needles, you'll be okay. Here, you want to try and get a little closer. You can speed kill him. There you go. I preferably speed kill him without worrying about that last bullet pattern. Now things get interesting. You're going to get these side walls, and every now and then these things get me. What you want to do, my advice is, rather than looking at the tank, rather than looking at your helicopter, look at this gap right here. And instead of aiming for the bullets, you want to just aim for that gap. On this pattern here where it shoots this wall, don't be too hasty. So don't immediately try to go around it. Instead, you want to actually hang down there a little bit so you can misdirect it a bit more. So there we go, perfect there. If you're really confident, you don't have to unlock, but for safety, I tend to unlock. Yes, the side grenades, everyone's nightmare when you first start playing. My advice on the side grenade is you want to sort of sit mid side screen here, pull down, and then you got to kind of think of it up like a wave. You draw a wave for that dodge. So here, it's lifting. The second grenade actually opens a little bit differently. It's lifting, so you want to go lower, and again, you're kind of dodging in this wave formation. Here, again, don't be too hasty. Don't immediately swing to the left. I've done that way too many times and end up getting trapped. Want to wait a second. There you go. And then I just unlock. With Tiger, I do the same thing if you're a Tiger player. And if you're real ballsy, you can just kind of stand on top of him while he does that grenade and speed kill him. The thing to worry about, though, is you always want to do it on the opposite side that he turns to fire, because that physical grenade will actually hurt you even before it blows up. So I've had a time or two where it just turned and hit me with the grenade and blew me up. So here we go, stage 3. Now things are getting real survival-wise. My advice here is whenever you get these big tank enemies, trying to lock onto them, take them out as soon as possible. But now we're going to be doing a lot of screen control with shot. So you're not going to spend as much time in lock when you have the opportunity to clear the screen with shot. Just get them off the screen as much as possible. These suicide needle planes are going to be the bane of your existence throughout the game, especially in stage 3 and stage 5. My advice, the way they work is they fly at you, and then when you kill them, they create a suicide bullet that follows their trajectory where you killed them. So that's very important to keep in mind, because otherwise you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble. And I'll get more specific on the routing. With these guys, I love this enemy type. Oh, here we go. The destroyer, or whatever it's called. So this thing, look at that nice juicy target. So this thing here has these blue wave that are somewhat aimed at you. Those things are always going to be a nightmare. The way you want, I think that's actually called a nightmare now that we're talking about it. No, that's a different ship type, sorry. Anyway, what you want to do is you want to lock on the right side, and then let it spawn a bit, and then move to the left side. You can see that's a strategy with many enemy types. These battleships here, you definitely want to take them out because those spreads get really nasty when they get lower on the screen. So we're going to come to the left side here, and we're going to follow along the screen slowly and surely, just like that. This is a kill point here. I'm not sure what I do in this replay, but typically what you want to do is you want to move up here and then cut across. Let's see if I do that. Yep, here we go. That was actually really good. Then cut across, target him, swing up here, target this guy, and because you have him locked on, you can swing to the right and just shoot him that way. This battleship here is a little bit tricky. You want to lock onto it, slowly back up, and then slowly go to the left, so you can squeeze through those patterns. There we go. Switch to shot, lock onto that guy. Very good. Now we get into the infamous mid-boss here. So the thing about this routing is no miss, no bomb, so we don't have to worry about bombing. But the way this thing works is if you don't bomb him, you get an extend. If you do bomb him, there's no extend at the end, so don't bomb him. Here's what you do. So you pull to the left here, you just fire, fire, fire. I'm not sure if I do it in this replay, but it turns out you kind of want to time your lock on till after this wave of suicide jets come in, because you can't lock onto him before then. You have to time your lock on a little better. That was okay. This one's going to be a little bit of a later kill, because if I had locked it onto him more precisely, I'd actually end up taking him out earlier. This is going to be a tricky one, actually. So what you want to do here is don't be afraid. You want to lock onto those guys, kill them, hold your lock on, and then you're going to go up and around this bullshit here on the right side, up and around. And then once these guys are targeted, swing left and it will automatically lock. Just keep holding your lock on button. You don't have to release it. It'll just automatically lock. Then after that's killed, then you unlock and then relock onto this guy right up here. It took me a minute there, but I did it. Now what I like to do is I like to come over here and just start lock shotting him, even though it doesn't lock on yet, just so you can hit him with your laser. Perfect. And then you're going to wait for the timing. As soon as it explodes, you're going to get a bullet cancel. Swing to the right, get right underneath it. You want to take this thing out as soon as possible. There we go. Now we're entering the final phase here. The key is you want to take everything out as quickly as possible before the big ship on the left spawns. It hasn't spawned yet. So what we're going to do, you're going to lock on here, and then I pull down to the sort of center. Panzer has a real easier time with this than Tiger, because Panzer has faster lock-on movement. You can pull to the center here, and even though it's a bit randomized, these bullets, it's basically guaranteed you're going to be able to swing through it. Just have to be on your toes for what you get. And then once you swing through it, because of the ship coming here from the left, what I like to do is I like to do this sort of circular dodging where you go up and around, up and around, up and around until it blows up. And then once it does, lock shot, kill him. And then it's going to spawn the bonus ships. Let's see if I got one or two. So I got one bonus ship. If you get two, one comes on the right here. Shoot him. Just shoot him. Don't worry about locking onto him. Shoot him. And then we get into this tank here. I'm still not fully decided the best way to deal with this survival-wise, but typically what I do is I come up and I just point blank him with lock shot and then pull to the left. Yeah, that's what I do there. I've got myself in a tight corner here. This is off route, but I was able to squeeze through. With this section here, with Panzer, I actually recommend that for survival, just shoot. Instead of trying to lock onto them, just shoot them in the face with your shot. The shot is surprisingly effective against these chopper guys. Clear that out, swing to the left, lock, and now we're going to slowly fall along the ship. Tap, 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 tap to tap. That's a classic tap dodge scenario there. And now we're going to get these suicide guys. Don't get too antsy. We're going to, again, slowly stream tap dodge to the right. Slowly do it. And now we're going to wait for him to do his blue wave attack here. Here comes a blue wave. Once that's done, you want to swing up and over it. If you're super cool, I've seen Moglar, he like flies around it or some shit. But here's what I do. You want to hold your ground in the center. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And then when it does this final pattern here with the needle bullets, slowly swing around them, switch to shot, and now you can just come up and you kind of just cut back through everything. Just hold shot, don't switch to lock. There you go. And now we're entering the boss 3. This thing is going to be a pain in the butt when you first start practicing him, but I think I have some good strategies for him that I've gotten pretty consistent with. First thing is, you want to come up here and you want to, and this is an older strategy where I just held lock. I say it's better to wait for him to flash like this and then begin the lock. So I began the lock too early in this replay. You can get a little bit better. And then what you do, anyway, so you get the lock, this is the more important part, and you swing very far to the right, and you kind of hang out over here. And what will happen is this thing will start over on the side, and it'll slowly move in leftward. It does every time, it doesn't matter. There's no sort of tracking to it. And the reason why I do that is because you don't have to do a whole lot of maneuvering on that pattern if you do that. You just sort of slowly tap, hold your ground, just slowly tap left. And then here we go on this pattern. This pattern gets me from time to time. It's a little bit randomized. The idea is you want to kind of slip through and slowly sort of just dodge on the left corner. Funnily enough, if you multi-target his arm and the center, which I didn't do, but if you do that, it has an interesting effect where it gives you more slowdown, but the pattern goes on longer. So I can't ever decide which is better, but it's probably better just to target in the center. There we go. Now you want to come in, you want to get real up close and personal, especially with Panzer, and left target as precisely as possible this left arm. So I did it correctly. Sometimes you'll get kind of the propeller over here on the left. You don't want that. You want to just target fully on that left arm. You want to attack that left arm like it's a meat, you know, a piece of meat, and you're a dog. You just want to bite it and chew into it. You want to blow this left arm up, focus on the left arm, keep everything on that left arm till it blows. Okay, then once it blows, you want to focus on the center. And there's all kinds of ways to skin the cat on this one on how you want to do it. You can kind of swing around a bit. You can move up, move not, and then move back down. Whatever it does, whatever you need to do. And then here we go on this pattern. For those who don't know, the opening of the pattern is actually kind of interesting, where you need to sort of stay in the left here. And then once it gets to the proper pattern, you just stay up and to the left side of the blue lines, and you just follow along with them. Don't worry, don't ever look at the red bullets. Just look at those blue lines and follow along. You know, tapping left and right, following along with them. As long as you stay close to them, those red balls won't hurt you. So here we go. Now we're jumping into stage 4. For consistency, I've found that I like to just shoot everything. In this replay, I'm trying to swag out a little bit in lock shot. With Tiger, lock shot is more consistently useful for survival. But with Panzer, because lock shot is slow to get started, a lot of times survival consistency, it's better just to slam into them face first with your shot. So here we go. Some interesting routing ideas here. I probably should have helped with the routing a bit more. So these guys are going to come in. This is the trickiest dodge. Slowly stand your ground. Sorry it's glitching out. That's VLC for you. VLC's a little bitch. And then you want to come up and around them. There we go. Squeezing through. What I like to do here is I like to lock on, and then I like to pull to the right here, because these little bitches will fire at you. And if you misalign that wall with those little pot shots, they can trap you in there. So what I like to do is lock onto him, pull to the right, so you hit these guys, and then move back around him when he goes into a second phase here. Now we're getting to the mid-boss section here. All you have to do here, very simple, is you just hold your lock shot and slowly tap left, just slowly tap it through. And then once these guys start popping out, unlock and just fly up and shoot them. There we go, mid-boss time. For this first wave, it's going to shoot these walls right here with the lines. I like to kind of dodge them a bit to the left side. Then it's going to shoot this line here. You want to pull to the left or pull to the right, wherever you are on the screen. You want to pull to the side and slowly tap, and go up and around at the end there. And then it's going to go into this. I'll advise you on what to do on that in the second time around. Now it's going to get more aggressive. And these lines here, you want to focus on the blue openings and just know where the lines are going to be. That's one of those ones where you kind of need to know. I didn't set this up correctly, so I have to get to those. This is the trickiest part of the fight. You want to pull to the right here, and you want to slowly sort of inch your way around. And then this bit here, I unlock, and you just start dodging like no one's business. You kind of unlock and go up and around, You can do it, of course, completely locked, but I find myself needing to panic spin around all kinds of things. This bit here, you want to wait a bit, and then the destroyer, nightmare, whatever this is, comes in. These guys you need to just absolutely hound with your lock-on shot. You need to try and speed kill them, because if they hang around on screen, it's going to be a nightmare. This routing, I have all these stupid variations. I can't ever seem to fit on or what I want to do. But you basically, you want to take these guys out with your lock shot. important note for this section here is not only are you scrolling, you know, your normal upward or whatever, you're also scrolling sideways, which is pretty unusual, but it happens in cave shmups from time to time. So you're just automatically moving sideways. Keep that in mind. That's going to throw you off when you first play this section, because you're going to like fly into stuff, because just know you're moving sideways even without touching any inputs. For this section here, you're sort of moving sideways. What you want to do is you want to get in the pocket, and the pocket's right about here. And if you're in that pocket, you can just kind of hold your lock shot and just let the scroll carry you, and then make minor adjustments. But the real trick to that is just getting into the pocket. Lock shot here, up and around. This is important. We need to speed kill this guy, but you don't want to be too eager. You need to misalign these lines with these walls, and that's a bit tricky, and there's a timing element to it. Take him out. Switch shot, this is important. These guys are going to fly in from the left. Blast them in the face with shot, point blank. Then you want to go up and around. That was bad routing. I was kind of off route there. Kind of worked though. Then what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to swing over, shoot these guys on the left. I barely manage it. I'm a bit off route here. And then you want to keep that shot trained on this guy. And you kind of just tap left, slowly but surely. But you need to keep it trained right on him. Swing up and around. Okay, another one's going to spawn on the side. You need to come in and follow along with him with your lock shot. Go up in the corner, and then stand your ground slowly, oh so slowly work your way over. But you have to watch out, because there's going to be these surprise blasts from those tanks below you. Those things suck. So yeah, you have to keep an eye out for that, as well as the destroyer. Now we go to boss 4, one of the hardest bosses in the game in my opinion. Very important here, and I can't remember if I do it correctly in the replay or not. You need to delay your lock on, so don't fire now, otherwise you're going to be in big trouble. You need to delay it till he hits on the ground, and you need all of your guns to focus on the center. If one of your guns goes to the left or right, you're in trouble. So here we go. I get it. So we got all in the center. Then what I like to do is I like to come down here. There's going to be this first wave. You dodge it slowly and surely, and then you come through the middle line, the second one. There we go. Go up. And then we're gonna come through and then to the center. Now we're point blanking the center. Here's the crazy box pattern here. The strategy is you're gonna hold to the center, and there's gonna be these close waves that come out. You're just waiting for them. Here they go, and you're gonna go up and around them. There we go, squeezing through, staying close, putting in damage. Then you pull back, and then I want to pull down to the right here. I should do that. There we go, down to the right. That sets you up for the next pattern, which fires immediately. So in cave, they usually give you a bit of time between patterns. Not on this boss in this pattern transition. It just fires immediately, and that'll get you a lot. You want to slowly tap left, just like that. Pull back here, and then this thing is a bitch. If you didn't put enough damage on him, now you have to go up and around, and then just sit right there until you get enough damage. Here we go. This pattern is going to get a lot of you because it's pretty nasty. What I do here is we lock onto the center, and the idea is you want to stay in the center so that you're blowing stuff up from the left and right. If you try to go to the corners, you're going to get piled on. You have to go in the corner, but as soon as you swing around, try and reclaim the center. You try and stay in the center as much as possible, but the pattern's going to try and force you. On these blue walls, remember, they're very dense. So if you can't get around the wing, and they open up. So if you can get around them early, that's good. But if you can't, you have to go through the center. Right, see like that? And you have to go through the center. That was pretty good. Chop Suey, that's the name of that pattern. And then this flying disco ball. Don't be shy, especially with Panzer. Get up there and just fire. And you gotta slowly tap upward. If you die on that, and then here's the safe spot. You want to sit on the middle here. 1, 2, 3, 4. After 4, you pull back. Then we go into the wall pattern. On the wall pattern, it's tricky because you need to watch both the swinging balls and also the turret. Because the turret, and you can get nasty formations. Yeah, sometimes you'll have to unlock, like I did there. It just depends on how they line up. This pattern can be incredibly easy or incredibly difficult, depending on your luck. That one was a little bit trickier because I did have to unlock. But just remember, you need to pay attention to not only the flying balls, but also those spinning walls. What I usually try to do is try and remain in the center of the blue walls and then negotiate around the patterns here. I hate this pattern. I'm not super good at it. But what you do is you want to hang tight for the center here, slowly tap, 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 and then it changes formation. So you get in kind of a rhythm where you're like, okay, tap, 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 it's going well. And then the formation will actually slightly change. And then see here, so tap, tap, and around the 7th or 8th, it'll switch. And then you need to do this quick swing around it. Here it is. Now I'm gonna do this quick swing down around just like that. You don't want to go too quickly because you don't want to get yourself cornered, but that's kind of, you tap, 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 and then around up here, you need to start keeping an eye out because you're going to have to swing. Okay, stage 5, by far the hardest stage in the game. It's like 2 stages really stuck together. It's a very difficult stage. What you want to do on this opening section is you kill all the popcorn with a shot, but you want to get a brief and short lock on and then release on these mid tank things. I like to do this swing left, right, swing left, right. Here we go. These guys are returning. I finally found a good strategy on this guy. So you want to pull fully to the right. Do not be shy about swinging from side to side of the screen. For a long time, I was a little bit too careful, but really you should take these massive swings. So here we go. Swing left. That was actually, there we go. Swing back to the right. And then you want to end his final pattern on the left side, not the right side. So we got to get over to the left side, because you need to end it right underneath these guys. And right as that guy dies, you think, oh, it's over? No, you got to take these guys out next. And you got to swing up and around them. Switch. You can switch the shot here. This thing is fun because there's always this open sector here. Or you can be cool and just come up above it like that and swing below it. You have to be careful though, because sometimes you can get clipped. And if you go too far up and you just try to go up in a square, you'll actually get rammed. So you have to be careful not to get rammed. So then here you fly in this little circle formation. You want to stay on the right side there, until you can get underneath. Shot, shot, shot. Shot kills those little tank or little gunner things pretty good. And then shot, shot, shot. Get close. Now we want to, this one's simple, but until you know the routing, it's tricky. You want to just hold your ground on the right side here. See how I'm holding my ground? Because you need to stay underneath this guy, and you just very slowly and carefully tap dodge till he blows up and cancels. Then you switch to shot, you go under in here, then you're going to swing, shot, shot, shot. This is the trickiest part. You want to lock onto him. You got to watch out for this guy though. So you have to kind of time your movements so that they line up and you find those gaps. There you go, switch to shot, lock onto him, swing to the left, switch to lock, hit him, swing to the right, shot, shot, clear everything out. Interesting moment here, seeing what I do. My newer routing is actually I'm closer. And the funny thing about this guy is if you're close, you can get him to shoot an alternate pattern rather than those sponge patterns, I like to call them. You want to, so here comes the first ever clone. You want to just get on top of him, point blank, kill him. Now it's very important, this bit's very important. So what you want to do is you want to get real close like this, point blank him, swing up and around. You want to stay close so you can get him to throw the second pattern. You want that second pattern because stupid VLC, because otherwise he shoots that sponge pattern again and gets nasty. As soon as that guy blows up, switch to shot and fly over and take all these out, lock onto him, pull to the left. There you go. And if you do that correctly, he won't fly off. But if you're not careful, he'll fly off and take your extend with you, which is sucky. These guys, you lock and then you swing, and there's like the 3rd or 4th opening here. Now here we go, the mid boss. This is not a fun time. So my strategy here is you lock onto this turret here and you stay under it. Stay under it because you want to damage it because you need it to cancel. But you don't want to damage it too much. So you want to kind of stay a bit back. And then I always unlock at the end there to make sure it's flashing red. That's a good sign. Pull back. And then this pattern here, you kind of go a little bit more to the right. Oh, that was very kind. And then we come up here and lock onto here. And if you get it just right, you'll get the perfect cancel. That was perfect cancel. What I like to do now, though, is when I lock onto it, I like to go into the corner here because that's a little bit easier to dodge. Here we go. I don't do it in this, but interestingly, if you let that pattern play out and let the fight continue, he'll actually roll back a bit. So if you want a bit more room on this pattern, you can do that. Sorry for all the funkiness. VLC's stupid, so that's why there's funkiness. Okay, I didn't really talk about the pattern. You begin at the bottom, and this one's very hard to describe, but you're really watching for these blue chains, because everything else, you can sort of just go left and do this sort of circular pattern to get around. You're gonna go up. Well, let me show you the mouse. You're gonna go up, and then you come across like this. You kind of just do this, except these blue links. Instead, you gotta squeeze through them, and they have this funky thing where they separate out like that, and they got a big old hitbox too. So that pattern is very tricky. Then you pull to the right, back, and then you got to go nice and slow, but not too slow. Okay, so this is very tricky. What you want to do is you want to time it so that you come up to the left side here, but not so early that these guys are still on screen, but not so late that he's firing too much. So let's see if I time it right. That was horrific timing, and I die. Let me restart. Okay, let's jump forward a bit. So I didn't cancel that out of the replay. Here we go. Try again. That's what bad timing looks like, though. So here we go. We're going to try it again. There we go. Up and around. You kind of want it to end right as that last guy's coming behind you. Blast him. This bit is very tricky. Come up. Lock on. Got to hold your ground a bit. Then as soon as he dies, switch to shot. Fly upward and to the left. So you can clear out that space. Then what you want to do is you want to hold, just keep holding shot, do not lock, keep holding shot, hold your ground, take them out, then you're going to come up here, they're going to come in from the right or left to the right, and you want to just hold your ground, and then there's one here, come to the right, I was kind of being silly, there you go, doing that once more, then there's going to be a spawn to the left, spawn to the right, come up here. Now it's elevator time. So my elevator strategy is as follows. You point blank this guy up, and then you slowly tap to the left, to the right. And what you're watching for are these walls that the guy shoots. And you need to go pull to the right. This last wall here is the hardest. And you need to pull to the left, and you need to squeak through. There's the opening, squeak through. And then once he blows up, you need to go up and around, switch to shot. That was kind of off route. Okay, so let's see what I do. This is completely off route. But what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to come to the left. Then he does this sort of blue wall pattern. Then you come down to the bottom here. And he does the second pattern. You can squeeze through it. And then he'll go into the final pattern. This is ugly. Okay, here's the final pattern. And then you kind of come to the left corner here. And you just gotta... Oh, I get hit. Okay. Do I really replay this whole thing? This didn't get cut out. Okay, here we go. Try again. Maybe I get it this time. Okay, pull to the left. There we go. That's correct. Pull down. There we go. Squeeze through. Perfect. And then now we just gotta dodge this barrage. There we go. And then this next guy... Oh, I didn't get the bonus ship. Sometimes you get the bonus ship. And you want to just lock shot him moving from left to right. So this pattern here, what I like to do is I like to just sit on top of it with my shot. Like that. Now we come into this section where I still feel like my routing is really iffy. But what I do here is I blow 1. You want to stand your ground on the left. 2, 3. And then here comes 4. And then as soon as this goes, there's this opening. And then you shot and sneak through just like that. Not the best routing, I don't think. And it's not super consistent in runs. So that probably needs to be improved, to be honest. With these guys, you want to stay underneath them and just fire. Okay, pull to the right. And then switch to lock-on shot. Because you're locking onto this big tank. And you'll get a nice big amount of slowdown. The tricky part about this is actually this pattern here where you got to misalign these spears with the walls. And the way I do it is you just slowly tap, tap, tap. And then as this last spear is about here, you move to the right. And then here comes these. You need to predict the gaps. So you can kind of just watch. I'm going to probably go to right. There we go. Predict the gap. That's a tricky dodge, but once you get the feel for it, not so bad. So here comes, so you come in, you use shot, clear these guys out. Then comes the first sponge attack. Lock on, pull to the left. And you got to weave through the blue ones. And then the red ones kind of hang out and then they heat seek onto you. Kind of a cool attack. See the blue ones? The red ones fall back and they heat seek onto you. And the blue walls. There we go. This bit here, very tricky. So the way I do it is you got to speed kill these guys. And then you kind of... There's the angle, right? Here comes his shot. You need to sneak through this gap right here. And you need to do it 3 times. There you go. Then here we go. You need to lock on him, speed kill this guy, pull to the left. And perfect. And then as you're pulling back to the right, you need to lock on to both of these guys, just holding your lock on shot, and then pull to the left again. And you got to sneak through. There we go. That was textbook. Very good. And then clear those guys out with your shot, and then lock on to the big ones. Here we go. Final boss. The setup's important. So the setup is, you see the G and the sort of break in the bracket. Place your ship right on that break next to the G, like that. See? You can kind of line it up. And then you just want to hold it. And for a second, it's not going to lock on to anything. But you want to just hold it because you want to lock all of your shots onto this one leg right here. If you lock onto multiple legs, it really decreases the amount of damage you do. And you have to go through the patterns more, and that gets to be a nightmare. So there, and then what you do, so you lock on the leg, and then as you saw there, you slowly sort of just tap down to the left, down to the left, down to the left, watching the corners. And then here comes the wall. So you come up. You see this bullet right here. This is the bullet you need to keep your eyes on because you need to weave around it. There we go. That was very nice. Then up and close. Now here comes, you come down to the center. And then sometimes you'll get a very easy break like that. And other times you have to squeak around. But you come down to the center and then there's a gap there. Or you have to squeak around the side of the gap. And then this is just... so here come these guys. This is interesting. The first... they change each pattern. That's why you get tripped up. Because each pattern acts differently. So the first one, very simple. You just go around the left. This one here, it's a change up. So what you need to do is you need to keep an eye for this gap right here. And you see these 2 little balls? You need to come up and over through them. There we go. And then this one is another change up where you're like, okay, I'll go up and through again. That'll kill you. Instead, you just hold your ground kind of on the right side of these little blue balls right here. You just hold your ground, keep following them along, and you'll dodge it. So each one of those has a different pattern, and that's what gets you each time. Then this, you want to pull to the right. You want to kind of be up, and then as these red spears spawn, you just go cross to the left. And sometimes you'll get really nice patterns like that. Here we go, the first fire bomb attack or whatever. What you want to do is you kind of want to be in the sort of middle center, but lower-ish on the screen. And then you just sit and watch. And as it blows up, you see it creates this fire trail. As the fire trail gets right here, like across from you on the left, you want to swing around. So swing around. Now you're watching these blue spears. You want to squeeze through them to the left. And then you wait for the fire trail, go up and around to the right. That one's the easiest one to dodge because it's the first one. This one, it's just all about following the trails. And then this last one here, you want to be careful because if you just leave yourself too far away or too close, you'll get hit immediately with a spawn of bullets right here. So you want to wait. You can actually sort of cancel it there, pull, then you pull up and around, and you can macro around it with the Panzer, which is really nice. So now pay attention to his health, because this is the hardest bullet, one of the hardest bullet patterns to cancel. And the way this one is different from the other one. So if you tried to dodge it from the same way before, where you hang back, it'll kill you. Instead, you need to come forward, and there's this weird gap that appears here. There it is. Go. So you actually, if I was forward, it would have been better. I was too far back. Forward, and you kind of pull back. Now it's another, the final attack here, and you dodge it the same way you did the first time, but it's more aggressive, and you kind of make these loops. So you go up and around, the first two, up and around, and then it slowly, progressively pushes you more and more forward. So then you got to do a bigger up and around there, bigger up and around there. And the way that pattern works is, so before we end it, the way this pattern works is the slower you can move forward, the better. Like, you want to stay as low on the screen as you can, but at a reasonable distance. And you just do these up and arounds, and you want to wait. You can't be too hasty. You want to wait till the timing is just right, and you get a feel for the timing. Again, it's kind of like when it's on your sides. You go up and around, and it's all about rhythm and slowly moving upward, and that's how you deal with that pattern. And that is how you no miss, no bomb Ketsui first loop using good old Panzer. Let me jump back here. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you all like this sort of content. We're getting very close to Shmup Slam 5, so please be sure to tune in for Shmup Slam 5, which will be on March 12th, March 13th. Check out the Reddit, subscribe, notify all your friends. Adios, everyone. Thank you to the $5 patrons: 100, Dingo, Another Joe, Anthony A, Anthony Iodice, Aaron Solis, Ben, Blur STG, Borgie22, Brian Reboot, Brian Shiver, Bubblegum Crisis 1394, Chris Yuzefovich, Chronic Burnout 3, Cook Some Soup, Corey Mark, DES Audio, Danielle Savage, Darren Griffin, Delta Tango 6, Disco Stas Leia, DJ 420, Praise It, Eric H, FCK, Full Set, Retro Schmupper, Hausu, Ilya, Kiwi, JLab, JB RPG, Jim Knockham, Joe Angelo, John Kelly, Game Boy Guru, K, K2, Kikoman 589, Larridge, Malaise, Mark Toms, Megadeth 859, Minung, Mechalin, Mitch LY, Queen Charlene, Nathaniel Davis, and Electron Neon Dagger Games, Okla Kugels, Philip Mason, Plasmo, Portal 63, Rattlecat, Raul, Rilskeen, Riff Mason, Rolf015, Scanline City, Seesaw FW, 7 Overdose, Shane Sinsansky, SLW, The Boot Rex, The Real Ikuzo, The Dirty Screech, The Old Bensta, TRM, Sugumo, Twilight EX, and Utakaya. Thanks for watching.